Peace and blessings is real. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through His only begotten Son, Yahushua, for allowing His word to come out. I hope you, sincere brothers and sisters, was edified by His word. And the name of the lesson is going to be called Sign of the End Times, Biblical News, Volume 279. And in this edition, we're going to speak about children neglect in U.S. asylum camps. That's right, we're going to talk about child neglect in the United States asylum camps. Each and every week, man, that the Lord allow us to bring you a sign of the end times, we try to focus on things that points to troubled times. And we know when it's troubled times amongst us, that means we are in the end times, man. Children, which are supposed to be our future, what I want to speak about is the neglect that's happening in these U.S. asylum camps. A lot of people are unaware of this neglect, the mistreating of these children. But I was able to stumble across this information, and I thought, wow, I think this is something worth bringing out, worthy of bringing out, man, as a sign of the end time. There's a lot of things when you look out in the world today that points that we're in the sign of the end times. But anytime it involves children, especially children being neglected in any kind of way, that's alarming, because what you see on the screen, these are going to be the people that's going to be taking care of us once we become old. Not us in particular, but these are the future caretakers, the future of this world. And what I'm noticing is the neglect that's taking place, man. A lot of people might want to know what's asylum, okay? Asylum is another word for a safe house, shelter, a sanctuary, okay, which provide protection by a nation to those who have left their country as refugees. What you see on the screen is children that are being protected that have left their country to come over here for a better life, better opportunity here in the United States. And over March and April of this year, more than 36,000 children have crossed into the United States unoccupied by an adult. You see that? That's a serious issue, brothers and sisters. Now, when it comes to these asylums, where the neglect comes is some of the conditions that's being reported. Ice boxes is how they describe the rooms or cubicles that they sleeping in. It's extremely cold rooms or cubicles in the United States Border Patrol Migrate Processing Facility. It's ice cold, man. And you got kids and families that are cramped into a plastic cubicle. From toddlers to teens, wrapped in silver emergency blankets, man. Pause for a minute and imagine that. I mean, these are very, very cold conditions, man. And on top of that, there's really nowhere for these children to sleep except on a shared mat. You had at least five girls on two mats, man. And then on top of that, we got to speak about food. It's been reported that the food either expired or was rotten or not cooked properly. That's cold-blooded, man. That's inhumane conditions, man. That's extreme neglect. You see? And no one's talking about it. That's how you know we're in the sign of the end times. I want to say not only that the conditions of being ice cold and then sleeping on mats and then eating food that's either uncooked, rotten, or that have expired, these people also are dealing with bathing and hygiene issues. You know, some of these kids haven't took shower for several weeks at a time. And then, since we're talking about hygiene and health, you had some of these kids that had lice in their head. You have some of these kids that become deteriorated and they feel ill. You've even had some of these children test positive for COVID, man. And at the same time have a startling number of migrate children that's in detention, aka these asylum camps, man. According to HHS, or Health and Human Services, there's more than 3,000 corona cases among the migrate children in Texas alone that took place just this last year. And on top of all of that, everything that we've covered, man, these migrates they are very vulnerable to exploitation and sexual behavior, man. Sexual abuse. Okay. Now, these kids have come from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, and various other countries, man. And they done came over here being as young as 6 or 7 years old. And then also, due to the neglect and the horrible conditions in these asylum camps, man, a lot of children are suicidal minded due to the horrible living conditions, man. Yeah. And on top of that, you have about 250 asylum seekers a day. Looking for food, shelter, and protection as they position themselves for a better life, man. The Lord, man, who we know as Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahweh, man, he really loved the children. He really has a soft spot for children, man. And when you look all the way around Israel, we see some of the things that's happening, some of the neglect that's happening. But this is extreme neglect here, man, that's happening to these migrants, man. But Yahweh spoke very candid about the children. In Matthew 10 and 14, it reads, "But when Yahweh saw it, he was much displeased, and said unto them, Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of Yahweh." You see that? So in other words, man, in Matthew 10 and 14, it says, when Yahweh saw it, he was displeased. He was angry, and said unto them, which was his disciples, Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not. In other words, do not stop or hinder these children that come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of Yahweh. You see that? These kids are royalty, man. So we have to look out for these kids, man. The neglect is unexplainable. But in the eyes of the Lord, he don't approve of that, man. So what am I saying, man? We should have a heart and a concern for what's happening out here, man. Especially you brothers and sisters that have children that's under 10 years old. Could you imagine if your 10 years old and under child was in an asylum camp living in these conditions, man? I bet you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. A horrible situation, man. But Yahweh love the kids, man. In Psalms 127 and 3, it says, children are an heritage of the Lord, who we know as Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. What's the name of the lesson, man? Sign of the End Times, Biblical News, volume 279. And in this edition, we're dealing with the children neglect in the U.S. asylum camps, man. And in Psalms 127 and 3, it reads, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. You see that? Let me say it again, man. Psalms 127 and 3 reads, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. That's plain. That's clear. Children are a gift unto the Lord, man. So when you look at these conditions, inhumane conditions and living situations that these children are going through, there's no way you could see that and not feel a certain type of way, man, and want immediate change. You see? But again, in Psalms 127 and 3, it says, children are inheritance. Children are a heritage, aka a gift of Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb, the fruit of the offspring, is his reward, man. So there you have it, man. Our children, man, those brothers and sisters that have children, you really, I hope this was a sobering word to you. I hope you are able to take heed of this and realize that you're fortunate. Your children are fortunate, man. But there's a lot of children out here is damn near living through some bad situations, man. I'm telling you. I hope you sincere. Brothers and sisters was edified by this word. And we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, man. Stay prayed up and keep Yahweh in everything that you do. Word.